And I think the lesson learned was that you really have to know yourself, and really you have to appreciate yourself. You have to appreciate yourself and your craft enough to say no if your intuition is telling you this is not the right thing.
Welcome to the Female Entrepreneur Musician Podcast with Bree Noble. Bree is a musician, entrepreneur, speaker, and founder of Women of Substance Music Radio and Podcast. Bree's interviews with successful female musicians and industry pros are both inspirational and informational. She also answers your questions about the music business. Bree is on a mission to help you create great music, connect with your fans, and grow your business, and to truly become a female entrepreneur musician.
Hey, this is Bree Noble, and I am so glad that you're tuned in to the Female Entrepreneur Musician Show, where we talk about making great music, connecting with your audience, and growing your business. And today I bring you a great talk with singer-songwriter Anni. It is such a good conversation because she is so frank and candid and specific, and she goes into detail in all of the comings and goings of her career. And I really think that many of you guys will see yourself in her journey. So here's a little bit about Anni. The world needs more optimists and do-gooders like Finnish singer-songwriter Anni Mattila, simply known as Anni. As a student of world politics at Helsinki University, Anni is very aware of the problems the world faces today, but she's decided to be light and hopeful despite all that. She's recently spent a lot of time with a musical project called Seize the Song, where she traveled to write and perform songs with artists mainly from Europe, but also places like Beirut. The idea is to connect on a grassroots level through music, and you can see her do that on her YouTube channel. Here is my fantastic conversation with Anni.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I guess one thing that that is kind of not really known is that I'm really into self-development. That's not a secret, but I've been having this kind of little project that my physical body as a mental path. So I really feel, women and our bodies. There's some how would you say it? It's a paradox. All this women objectifying culture we have, and yet you kind of want to feel beautiful, and then we mistreat ourselves in many ways, so I'm having this physical body as a mental path project that I'm training for triathlon.
Oh,
yeah, wow. And it's exactly, it's a wow, and it's a huge change in my identity actually, because I never was that. I'm the girl with asthma and back pain.
Ah, wow.
So it's been an incredible journey so far to actually treat myself and actually allow myself to feel good, and also to push myself a bit, but in a loving way instead of self-punishing way. So and also I've been talking a little bit on social media about this on my Instagram, sometimes posting something about my doing sports or something, but I'm really considerate of not having this fitness selfie, or like not contributing to this fitness selfie culture, because that I think makes people feel just more like bad.
Right.
It's really inspiring anybody. It's like, yeah, I ran this, amazing marathon this morning, and screw you, all you lazy people. It's not like inspiring at all, but so I'm more like, hey, like, did this little thing, and love yourself and treat yourself in a nice way. And that's
I like
what I'm
that.
learning.
You're doing it more for yourself than to like show off.
Yes. And it's also interesting it's also really like a mental path, self-development path of loving myself, and also allowing myself to feel really good and also look good. Obviously, if you're doing a lot of sports, you're gonna have a nice body, but it there's just so much more into that. So it's been really interesting. And
That's cool. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I kind of made the decision last October, and slowly and steadily I've been on this little journey and making it more public. And now I'm this summer gonna have my first shorter triathlon. But it's not a competition, but these events, and
Right.
then my bigger goal is later in the fall. And then I can actually decide. After that, I can decide whether I actually want to do this or not. But now it's just this project of allowing myself to feel good in my own skin.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners how you got started in music.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but the music just was always there. I started writing songs when I was, I don't know, 6. And I went to piano lessons, and then I just started making my own songs. And kids have this amazing, really natural way of being creative, and it just always floated through me, and I never stopped. And obviously then the dream became more serious, and I became older, and just the piano lessons turned into studying music theory and playing in a band in a conservatory and all this, and eventually I got signed to a record label, but that was instead of a big dream, that was a lesson learned.
Oh man, so, I can't tell you how many times on this show I hear that something like that sentence.
Yeah, there are a lot of big dreams turning into lessons learned, but yeah, and then but I just kept doing music. Like I've heard so many times that whatever you're doing, but if you want to be successful, you just have to stick with it. And the ones who are really successful are the ones who just never quit. And I'm actually kind of starting to believe in that, because
I think there's definitely something to that. But you have to have like a plan. Otherwise, if you never quit doing something that's not very effective, it's not going to really work, right? But
yeah, exactly. Of course, you cannot be like just like stubbornly, this is exactly I'm not gonna change at all. No. Of course, you have to like iterate. You have to test things. You have to also change things. And study and learn and try and be willing to even change your mind regarding some things and so on. But anyway, just if you just stick with it, I think eventually the success in some form or another will come.
So we have a lot of struggling artists that, maybe are just starting, or that they've been trying this on and off for a while and they've been through ups and downs. And I'd love to actually dive into that story that you were talking about, where you got your record deal and then that didn't work out so well, because I think that could be really helpful for any artists that are listening.
Yeah. Well, this, in short, back then I was still quite young, and I hadn't really learned how to listen to my intuition. And in hindsight, I know that when I met those like record label people, and I was about to sign the deal, my intuition told me that these are not the right people. But I just thought that, here it is, here's my chance. I need to take it. So this is the next step that I've been waiting for. So I'm going to be this, hardworking, focused, driven, rational person, stepping forward and going forward. Although in hindsight, my intuition, my gut feeling said that, okay, these people might not really understand what I'm about. And obviously I'm still really thankful for the label that I got to work with them, and I got all these experiences, but yet it wasn't a great success. So I think one lesson really is that you have to stay honest to yourself, and obviously it's not always easy to, or for me now it's really easy to know what my intuition is telling me. It's really easy, but it didn't used to be like that. So you really have to practice that, and I I understand that it's so easy for me to say like, yeah, trust your intuition. And then you end up in really bad places because of that. But that's one thing. But another thing that I really, really would like to give like advice is that I've myself given up on music quite a few times, or at least I've like really like, is this really what I want to do? Wouldn't there be any other? Why don't I just, I'm studying world politics at the university, so why don't I just go back there and do that thing and end up in some, working for the government or whatever, and just, but I know that music is just something I cannot say no to. Like my dreams are something that I cannot say no to. That like my dreams exist, and this music is inside me. This creativity is inside me, and I cannot always say for a week or a month or even for even longer time. I can say like no. Now let's just stop this nonsense. But it's not gonna go anywhere because I'm just deciding to stop that nonsense. I'm just like turning back to myself, I think. So even if you would embark on another career or whatever, but just like, you go fast or slow, you stumble or you walk in really eloquently towards your goals, but you just cannot turn back on your dreams. You just kind of have to allow them to exist and to go towards them.
Yeah,
And,
I'm really glad you said that, because it's true. I mean, so many people try to like stuff it down, like push down that passion for music and say it's not, it's not rational, it's not practical, and they try to go do something else. And whether it's in 3 days or 10 years, it always comes back.
exactly.
Knocking on the door.
Yeah, and of course, I'm not saying like to be foolish that, and I say like stubborn in a way, like in a stupid way that, stupid world. I'm not gonna play with your rules. I wanna be Madonna, and then obviously you're not gonna be Madonna if you're like that. But in a way, just kind of like there's this trendy word, allowance, that allowing yourself to have your dreams and going towards them in this relaxed but focused manner, and trusting the right timing, and also trusting yourself. And really as I said about like my triathlon project, that allowing myself to feel good in my own skin and actually feel energetic and powerful in my own body. It's also that allowing yourself to trust your own creativity and your dreams. That I have these dreams, and I trust myself that, I will just slowly, steadily go towards them. And yeah.
That's great. So I don't want to belabor this point, but I do want to ask about the record deal thing. Like, what was it that went wrong? Was it that they didn't really understand you as an artist, or that you were naive as to what they were trying to do with your music? It just was a bad fit. Like, what should people be looking for when someone does approach them with a possibility?
Well, actually, it was also bad timing but there was back then, like, there was it was just before the financial crisis.
Oh.
And also there was like big labels were really like sinking ships, really struggling. And that was, and in Finland, which obviously has its own big major labels, but they are anyway like daughter companies of these big global companies. So the big global companies told that, okay, we are doing so poorly right now, so you better just stop. Stop focusing on anybody else than the A-level, the most successful ones, or and and that was one thing, and obviously that's nobody's fault, because that's
Right.
just, things happen. But I think it was the universe really paving my way towards something better. But also then I think maybe the and when you're trying to find the right team, uh you really shouldn't go, and like, I really think the people I was working with back then, they were really like loving and nice people, and they really wanted the best for me and my music, but they just weren't the right fit.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way that, there's like, yeah, I'm sure they really tried everything and their best, but it just wasn't what I needed.
So did you end up getting to release? Did you
Yeah,
actually make the album with them?
we made an album and we put it out, and it actually got quite nice reviews and stuff, but things just didn't go anywhere.
Just no traction, right?
Yeah, and it was kind of, we just put, they just put loads of money in this album, and I put my heart out, and really worked hard on this album. The same old story, and then the global label thing happening, and then the in Finland certain things happening, and then like they maybe I'm my artist brand or whatever, maybe it wasn't quite clear for everybody. I don't know, maybe, and like focusing your energy and money on maybe a little bit wrong things, and not the right things, and so in a way, I'm, as I said, like sometimes a dream come true ends up being a lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't, for example, if these people that from the label would now be listening to this, I don't have any bad feelings about them, because I think things went exactly as they were supposed to go. But at the same time, because I learned a lot, and I think the lesson learned was that you really have to know yourself, and really you have to appreciate yourself. You have to appreciate yourself and your craft enough to say no if your intuition is telling you this is not the right thing to do, even if there would be some, fancy prize.
Right. Yeah.
But then
Super
again,
good advice.
yeah, but of course, but then but on the other hand, also, let's say, I don't know, like this is not a really, really like corny example, but let's say like McDonald's comes and tells me you will get $10 million if you become our face, or you give your song or something. And, at the same time, although you have to be, and so what would I do? McDonald's is, putting my song on their commercial, and I will get $10 million, or something totally random. And then obviously this is also a game that you need to play in a way. And I understand that they aren't like right and wrong. There are just different paths. And I think the most important thing is that you just have to kind of stay honest to yourself and understand why you make certain decisions. So later on, if your decision turns out to be not so smart from one perspective or another, you kind of have to be able to stand up for yourself and say, yeah, but I'm standing up for myself, and I took that $10 million, ended up and gave my song to McDonald's commercial, because that, opened all these doors, and I was able to make all these amazing songs, and da 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 da. Or right. Then if, or if I say like, no, I'm not going to do it because, that's not part of my brand, and I don't feel comfortable being, related to that kind of an organization, and then if that would be my only chance, then I would just, die miserably without anybody ever hearing my music. And then, like, well, I once had this opportunity, but I didn't take it. So I think the most important thing is to just know yourself and
Yeah, you have to be confident in your decision either
Yes.
way and feel comfortable with what you chose.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's not a right or wrong answer.
Exactly.
That's a
And
good
also,
point.
yes. And also and I think many times they aren't right or wrong answer. And and that, and also that's why I think it's hard to, for example, if you feel like you're sometimes people are judging others for their decisions, but I think I would never judge anybody because I really don't know the story behind.
Right.
So even if somebody why is she like on that commercial, or whatever, I wouldn't do that, because you never know what's the plan, what's the path, what's the big vision behind it all.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So I saw on your website, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you might have gone to Berklee School of Music for a while.
Yeah.
And what was your experience there? Do you feel like that's something that every songwriter should do? Get some training in, songwriting and music business at an actual school, or is it just, something cool that you can do, but it's not necessary?
So I was lucky enough that I was granted a scholarship to study there. So I've been studying pop and jazz music in Finland, but I got a scholarship to study there for a while. I stayed there for 3 semesters, and I mean, again, everybody should do their way, but couple of things. Firstly, I kind of, there are these musicians who say that, and artists who say that, if you study, that will kill your personality and your uniqueness. And I just don't think like that at all. I think if you really want to be a professional, you have to have all the tools in the world, because only then, when you have all the tools in the world, you can use all the chords, all the scales, all the rhyme schemes, all the styles, in your singing, in your vocal sound, you can do all the different ways. Then you're really free to actually express exactly what you want to express.
I agree. It's like if you learned English, but you only learned half of the words in the language,
Exactly. So I think always educating yourself is a good thing. Although I understand in the beginning, when you're just learning the first chords or first things, it might feel like you end up stuck using only those little things. But when you just keep on studying, keep on doing, I mean, you don't have to go to Berklee College of Music to study. You can, I don't, and I don't think that's necessary. But really studying and also studying just artists, studying music history, and really, being really like immersing yourself in music in every possible way. I think that really makes, and also that makes a professional that you understand what you're doing. And I think that if you don't understand what you're doing, even on some level, it's kind of like think about a cook who I don't know, I just like putting these things, and I mean, of course, if it tastes good, it's good, but how could you open a restaurant if you never really know what you're doing? And I think no, educating yourself in one way or another is important. But regarding going to a music school, and especially this expensive school as Berklee College of Music is, I think the most important thing is the peers and the network and the connections you build, and Berklee College of Music, I think 1/3 or even half of the students are international. So after going there, I have I have a movie composer girl from South Korea, and friends in Cuba and Brazil and in all around in Europe and Africa, and so because I think the two most awesome things about Berklee was that the international people, because usually if you're from abroad, and you go to Berkeley, you have to be pretty good in your own country already, pretty established. So then you get to know these people. And then secondly, there are all these clinics that, these workshops, like we got, super famous people or people behind these super famous people coming to, whenever they were in town, they were like, yeah, we having gig tomorrow night, or, so I'll come and give a little lecture. So that was pretty exclusive.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah. So in general, I think people hate the word networking, and I don't. Yeah, networking per se is I think it's more about actually creating genuine relationships. And whenever like somebody, I can't remember who it was or where I read this, but let's say you have 1,000 people on Facebook that you have as your network, but nobody cares about you. So it's like it's useless. But then you have network of 10 people who would die for you.
Mm.
And then, if they end up being like, Bill Gates or something, it's even better. So it's always better to have less people that really care about you and that you care about.
Yep.
Than trying to build this huge network.
Right. Go deep rather than broad, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's good to know people and meet people. I'm not saying that, and it's important to be nice and kind. That's really important. But yeah, so these friendships is part of like one of the most like biggest reasons to go to an art school or any art related events or things.
So now back to the present time, like in your career right now, do you consider yourself a full-time musician, or are you doing it kind of on the side? I think you're still going to school, right? Are there other things that you're doing to pay the bills?
Well, at the moment, actually, I am a full-time artist and songwriter.
Okay.
But as I said, at the moment, and there's been, various situations and combinations of money making and career making. And actually right now I'm reading Elizabeth Gilbert's, she wrote the Eat, Pray, Love, her book.
Yes.
Big Magic. And that's a big, like the Big Magic is a big recommendation for everybody. And I think she puts it really nicely that she actually had a day job when I think she wrote 3 books that got published. And only after that, when she actually started writing Eat, Pray, Love, she only quit her day job. So I think for me, so I worked in this music startup for quite a long time. Besides doing my music and also doing a little bit of my world politics studies, but I quit last year to really focus on my music. I think for me, it brings this feeling of urgency that I cannot get stuck with my perfectionism or fear of, if I put something out, then somebody's not going to like it. Or, like now I got this feel of urgency that every day I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. And it really makes me more focused. And also, like, I've been now putting these songs out for the spring. We decided we're going to put 4 songs out this spring, and there's still 2 coming. And that's what we'll be doing. And booking gigs, booking things, so and obviously compared to being a writer, being an author, being a musician is a totally different thing, because you do, you can go do gigs and you can do teaching, and I guess we're gonna go more into these things later on.
Yeah. Why don't we just go there right now? So, like, what is your income breakdown kind of look like?
Yeah. But for I just want to say that. So for me, quitting my day job, at least for now, felt like the right decision, because it brought this sense of urgency that I cannot sit on my songs and just wait for the perfect manager, the perfect record deal, the perfect whatever. No, I just need to be putting my music out there. I just need to be booking gigs. I just need to be sending out these emails. I just need to be, doing my artist thing every day. And that's really been working for me. I cannot say that, well, I consider myself as a struggling artist, though I don't want to use that word. I'm just, but like it's still a very much a struggle, I think. But then again, if somebody really, I understand financial, like steadiness brings this peace and calmness in your life, and I really strongly, recommend people to have that if you feel like you work and then do your craft on the side, and if that's something you need to do to stay mentally healthy, and then that's exactly what you should be doing.
That's so true. It's really about your personality and what you can handle and what motivates you. Like, if you're just too stressed out, if you try to like go out on that limb and not have that security blanket and that safety net, and that's going to paralyze you, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
and I've been there. Yes, exactly. And also I've been there too. I've been in a situation where I really felt that I was paralyzed, because I just felt nothing will ever work out. I will have no money. I will just die miserably and shamefully. And then I got a day job. So, and then, I wasn't so shameful and miserable and, not in such a dark place until, I kind of got my things together. And then I felt again that, okay, now actually I'm feeling more self-confidence. I have these things coming up. I have these people around me, like a producer, a bunch of other guys. I have my self-confidence. We have this music coming out. Maybe now's the right time. I have some money saved. Now's the time to, get again more focused on the thing that I was born to be doing here. And and again, like, this is kind of like going back to saying, like, you shouldn't be like too stubborn in a stupid and unhealthy way. That if you're honest with yourself, you pretty quickly know what's good for you. And sometimes what's good for you is like, okay, go clean your room, go get a steady job, put your apologize, call your mom, these things, and then get your act up, and then you're all set to go again.
That's good. I like that. So how does your income kind of break down right now?
Yeah, obviously.
I don't need actual numbers. I mean, like, percentages kind of.
Yeah, I think, well, like, as an artist, I think it's just important because the money kind of comes and goes. Like it's, you don't get this monthly exact number, this salary, but it's like you have these better times and then you have these worse times. So how you kind of navigate through these ups and downs, and it also again comes down to, you kind of need to put your ego on the side. So for example, I'm teaching, not that, like, I used to teach in this conservatory, like 2 days a week or so, and it really wasn't my cup of tea at all. But I have a few students, and then I do the gigs, and also because I'm a trained pianist, so actually I find it quite nice to every now and then and just go play piano, like somebody asks me to go and play piano in their party, and and then you just do these little things and teaching and all these kind of things. So that kind of those just come and go, and then obviously then I have some sponsor deals that they are more, at the moment there's not that like money involved, but it's more for example, that I get clothes from certain places, or I whatever services,
Right.
and then I, for example, use the clothes in when I'm performing, and then talk mention them in my social media and these kind of things. So and obviously the bigger my audience grows, then eventually there will be actually money involved. And that, I think that's a really big thing with big artists,
Right.
like let's say Taylor Swift. If she wears something on her Instagram photo, it's not for free. There's a lot of money
Yep.
behind that. Yeah, I have a nice T-shirt. And also royalties, and because I write my own songs myself or with somebody. So there's the royalties and the copyright money, and obviously because when I do a lot of my own gigs, there's a lot of money coming from those gigs also through the copyright money. But the copyright money only comes, I think, twice a year, so it's also kind of, so there really is different streams of money, and that makes it also you have to be kind of focused, and I think personally the whole like thing of like energy around money has been a deal breaker. I've really started to work on my energy regarding money, because I think it's really common, especially among creative people, that we tend, and I think especially with women, that money is somehow bad or dirty. And I kind of like found this attitude within myself too, and I was like, wow, did I really think like that? So I've been really working on that, because I think the more women also in music and in general would be really wealthy, like let's say there would be loads of female millionaires, I think it would make a difference. That it's actually a really empowering thing to have a lot of money. So I don't think so. Like I think that's something that I think as an artist, it's really hard. For example, you tell like, what's your price? Like, okay, come and play a gig. How much? And then you're like, I don't know, maybe. And just put a decent price on your performance.
Yep.
Or so, and it's really scary. It's really scary, and I think it's most important thing would be to kind of, money is just energy. It's just numbers. So for example, my advice would be that don't do anything with a price that makes you annoyed doing it. Like, like, hey, what do you do this gig? Okay, I don't want to do it, but if you pay me like $1,000, then it actually would be nice to do it. Like if you pay me $200, I'm just like pissed off.
Right, you don't want to be resentful because it's going to show itself in your performance.
Yeah, exactly. But they're like, okay, I don't want to do it, but actually, if you pay me $1,000, I'd be happy to do it. Oh, sure. Well, I'll pay you $1,000. Oh, wow, and then suddenly it's nice. So, and if they're like, whoa, $1,000, that's like too much. I'm like, fine, well, go find somebody else. And, and so I hope you get my point that I think just understanding this money energy, I guess it might sound like a little hippie thing, but we have a lot of negative connotations around money.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. And I think that you have to be, if you put a price out there, you have to be okay if they say, no, we can't afford that. And just, well, that's my price. Okay, that's fine. I don't need that gig,
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take a price you're going to be pissed about.
Yeah. So that's obviously it's easier said than done, but you can, start practicing. Put, if you think about some price, then put like even $50 more or $100 more, and the next time you can put even more. Right. So it's not like you have to immediately like triple, but in general, what I'm trying to do is to have at least once a week this little coffee moment with my finances and like career wise, like how okay, so have I been like, how am I doing finance wise in my career? So have I been selling any gigs, or have I been, if let's say I'm planning that I will do some merch, for example, I don't or something. So have I actually done something for that? Or, or okay, last week I sent these emails and now, these guys replied and these haven't. And, now last week I got this payment and and kind of, so the more clarity you have, like good energy regarding money and like positive attitude towards money, and then clarity. And so that's why I really, even sometimes twice a week, because it's also something that kind of, for some reason it's not the most, or actually it is quite fun to go through those things once you get to do it. But the thought of like, I don't want to check my bank account. I don't want to check how many gigs I sold this month. But actually, when you just sit down to do it, it's actually really nice.
I think that's true. We get into that like avoidance mode. Like, well, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually do it. It's like, hey, I did do this and I did do that. And yeah, I need to improve in this area, but now I've got something to work on,
Yeah, exactly. And then like, oh my God, like, damn, like last week I didn't, I've decided that I'm going to do this one thing, but last week I was so busy, I totally forgot to do anything about it. Okay, so this week I really need to get, my hands on this one thing.
Right.
And obviously then you have to kind of be gentle with yourself, because we are human beings, and, but that's also like, you realized, oh my God, it's been 1 month since my last coffee time with my finances.
It's been 1 month since my last confession. That's what that means.
Yeah. Exactly. But then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Or if it's 3 months, if it's, I don't know, a year, whatever. But then, okay, but now I'm back at this. I'm here now doing this. Good me. Good for me. I'm proud of myself. I think also as women, we are really hard on ourselves. And that's not, I think there are a lot of women artists that are really, really talented and really working so hard. But I think we should take better care of ourselves, and also sometimes loosen up a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I love the focus that you place on all this in your career, but I did want to ask about this project that you do that is like really, really great, and, a philanthropy type thing, the Seize the Song. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. So Seize the Song is, it's a video blog where I travel around the world. I meet local artists and then we write songs together and film them. And I have this bigger vision of how I like how I would love it to be eventually. But the first version of it, we did it last spring. In Europe, there has been this big refugee crisis right now, and also in Finland, there's been more refugees than ever before. And I got to know a bunch of them, these musicians, and they are awesome. I think this prejudice thing, just open yourselves, be curious about different people, so and it's okay to ask questions, and, but so I just ended up meeting these refugee musicians, and we started making music with them. And then eventually I traveled the refugee route backwards to the Middle East, and wrote songs and not just with refugees, but just with any artists I met along the way. And it was amazing. And I was kind of suspicious about like whether the idea is it just like me here, me there, me working with these people, me being filmed. But actually, no, it was amazing experience. And the project ended up being, we did it with a Finnish women's magazine. So I was blogging for them, and then the videos were shown on their website.
Wow. So did they help finance the project?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And obviously, well, I mean, basically we just got covered the expenses, but it was an important project to be done in many ways. And as I said, like I have even bigger visions of how I would act, like how I'm dreaming of doing it, like eventually. But that's also something that you like we all have these visions that once I have this big arena and these music videos, but you have to start somewhere,
right?
And you have to also appreciate the process and the fact that, because there are so many people who aren't doing anything, so even if you're doing something, that's already like a win. You're winning.
Yes.
If if you're performing, if you're putting your crappy demos on YouTube or Spotify, or if you're doing anything, actually getting something done out there, you're winning. And that's also like, we really need to give ourselves credit for that. But yeah, so Seize the Song, it was just a project of mine that that I think in music, like nowadays world, there is so much this contrast that there's us and the others, and not really curiosity or respect for the other.
Right.
And I've just, again, it's another cliche that music is a universal language, but I realized that there's been quite a few times when I've been just traveling, not for music, but just for whatever reason, for having a holiday or something, and I just end up somewhere, and I realize there are musicians, or there's a musician, and then we become friends, and we start to hang out just because we are musicians. And I cannot imagine that there would be like a, I don't know, like a broker or a lawyer or something, a lawyer on her holiday, and then just like bumping into another lawyer, and then they would be like, oh my god, you're a lawyer too, let's do some law stuff together. It's no, that doesn't, like, you buy stocks, me too. Let's talk about buying stocks. No, but hey, you're a musician too, that's awesome. Let's communicate, let's share stuff. And so I realized that musicians and artists really have this ability to create a space of trust and respect and curiosity and openness. And I think it's an amazing skill that we really, need to embrace. And that's what Seize the Song is about.
Mm.
And as I said, I was kind of worried if it's too much about like Anni just going to places and getting herself filmed. But actually, it ended up being a huge growing experience for me, like really like personal growth and also artistic growth as a songwriter, and also to realize that we have the skill of creating these spaces of trust and curiosity. And
that's very, very cool. I love that you did that, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future with this. So you did talk about the magic, which has actually been is that the name of the book?
Big
Magic. That's right. Big Magic. Yes, several people have actually recommended that on this show. Do you have any other books that you would recommend that artists should read for music or music business, self-development, songwriting?
I mean, obviously, I read quite a lot of books, and also I try to, although I love computers and mobile phones and just digital life, I think it's important to also log off and spend time away from mobiles, and really, because we really need to be able to focus for a long time on one thing.
Right.
To be
Which
able
is not the easiest thing nowadays, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think reading a book for, sometimes that really helps you to, stay in that mode of focusing on one thing and letting just the time pass by. So I'm really a fond book reader. So and I think different books resonate to different people on different times.
Right.
But from but also there's couple of these like self-development and also like career coaches, more from like business and entrepreneur side. But I've actually found them quite good. And there's quite a few of those, and they have like nice YouTube video channels and podcasts.
So who do you like? They're probably people that I follow.
Yeah, so obviously Marie Forleo is definitely one, and one of the female entrepreneurs. And then a couple of guys is Brendan Burchard.
Oh yes,
and Robin Sharma.
Okay.
And I think Robin Sharma has a video called "How to Make the Next Year the Best One Yet," or something like that. And I think that's a really nice. And you can do it. You don't have to do it when it's the New Year's. You can do it whenever, or watch it and then do the thing. But those, and obviously Seth Godin.
Yes.
And not just Seth Godin's, TED Talks, but he has a lot of great stuff online.
He has a blog that is like
yes, and also his books. They're really good. But those are really like more like, for example, if you're in a vulnerable place, like you're kind of in a place that, not in a really confident and powerful place. I'm not sure if those are the guys that you should then be reading or watching or listening.
Right.
But regarding self-development, there's one book. It's called, I think the author is Penny Pierce. And I think the book is called Intuitive Way. And it's about that I think that book, it's one of the books of my life.
Wow.
I think the book just came to my life in the right moment. So if you read it and it's like, what is this? So it's just, you have those books that it's not the right timing.
It's true.
But it's really about how to connect with your intuition. And so it's, so that's a big recommendation.
Those are some awesome recommendations.
Yeah.
Thank you. So oh my gosh, this has been amazing. Like we've talked about so many great things, and I really appreciate your time and all your insights. Can you let our listeners know how they can find you online?
Oh yeah, Annie, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and it's yeah, I really appreciate, being able to have this talk with you. So I'm all over the online world. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't use Snapchat though, because I just feel you better rock the channels you're on.
Yep.
And then just So I'm on Snapchat, and no, I'm not on chat. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then obviously I have my website, and I'm about to start my own Medium blog.
Oh, okay.
On my website as well, and obviously then you can find me on Spotify and SoundCloud as well.
And what's your handle on social media?
My website is Anni, ANNI, is it -music.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then on social network channels, it's my first name and my last name.
Okay.
Although I should actually change it to just Anni Music, which might be a lot easier. But so my first name is ANNI, and then my last name is Mattila. It's Mattila.
Yep, I found you on Facebook. So I know she's there.
Yeah, but I would love, I love when people are sending me this. It saved my day, and I guess even my life so many times when I'm like, my music sucks, and I've wasted my life focusing on this nonsense. And then somebody reaches out and tells me how important my song is for them. And it's just like, wow. So, and I also try to do that, to send out these messages to our artists that I
yeah. I mean, it is like, as my teachers used to say from college, that like, it's my payday when, not like when I get my paycheck, but when I receive emails from former students or current students on how much they're learning. And that's the same way with artists. When you receive that praise and that connection, that people are like really, really loving your music. And not only that, but they're like listening to it and really understanding the lyrics, and they're telling you how it's, helped them, or how it's affected them, or how it, it's become part of their life. That is our payday as artists.
Exactly. So yeah, I'd love to, anybody who's feeling me, just send me a note. And also that I want to hear your music, like everybody's music, because, that's also something that we really need to. I always try to, whenever I hear something that I like, or an artist that seems to be interesting, I try to tweet about it, or, even something little, because that's, you put the good forward, just pay forward.
I love that. That. That is a great way to end this episode. So thank you so much, Anni, for being with us today. And I know that you guys have benefited from all of her wisdom as we've been talking today.
Thank you so much.
Now go out and make great music, connect with your fans, and grow your business. Female Entrepreneur Musician has been brought to you by FEM103 and FemaleMusicianAcademy.com. With editing by Jen Eads of 317 Sound Design and music by Stella Ronson.